Good morning and welcome to Fight CPS with your host, Bob Pace. This is a live stream broadcast around the world. Anybody that has internet can tune in. Um, I'm here to talk about the Child Protection System, what I call CPS. It has many different names in many different places. Um, Department of Children and Family Services, the Child Protection System, Department of Children's Services, the Cabinet. So it's a government agency in the United States that's found in every county and every state. It was enacted by Congress in 1962 that directed the social service branch of our government to create a group of social workers that protect our children from neglect and abuse. It's also supposed to help reunify families if it's necessary to break them apart, because studies have shown that the best parents to raise their children are the biological parents. But today, there seems to be a different um, portrait of CPS. And that is from my experience from talking to people. Hello there, CJ Dunbar. Dunbar, wasn't that the officer in the movie Dancing with Wolves? Um, Lieutenant Dunbar. Yeah, CJ Dunbar. Welcome. And I do need to put a banner up that talks about how to send a text message to me. It's very important that you state your name. And you're from outside the United States, make sure you put a country. Now, the banner's pretty self explanatory. I'm doing okay, CJ. How are you doing today? I don't know. I don't think I've met you before, and I don't know what part of the world you're from. You're in Lackawanna County. Okay, Lackawanna County. What state is Lackawanna County? Scranton, Pennsylvania. Well, you're the third person from Scranton. I hope you're not the same guy. There's another guy from Scranton, too. Um, anyway, welcome. And what is your CPS case? Now, I do have some housekeeping things I need to tell you about. One, um, I'm not giving out legal advice, I'm giving out educational advice because I'm not an attorney or a lawyer. I'm a loving father and husband. I have 43 years of marriage and 61 years of working and life skills. Yes, I'm a dinosaur. But I too was a victim of CPS, and I've been fighting them now for 15 years. I come on to this live stream twice a day, 7 days a week, and I've been doing this now for 25 months. That's over 2 years. This marks my third year. I started in October of 2023, and I'm on at 10 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday, and then 8 a.m. in the morning on Saturday and Sunday. In the evening, I'm on at 7 p.m. My show is Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children. And these shows are 1 hour long. The times I'm giving you are the West Coast of California. It's Pacific Standard Time. So if you're in the mountains like Montana, I have a bunch of good people in Montana, you're 1 hour ahead of me. If you're in Texas, you're 2 hours ahead of me. That's Central Time. And in Ohio, you're 3 hours ahead of me. And that's Eastern Time. And if you're in the United Kingdom, you're 8 hours ahead of me. In Europe, you're 9 hours ahead of me. In Africa, you're 9 hours ahead of me. And in the Middle East, I believe you're 10 hours ahead of me. So it goes around the world. Eventually, you'll find out that places like Australia and the Philippines, you're on the next day. you're on the next day. You're already a day ahead of me. But wherever you are, I'm here for you. I care. As I said, that I had a case too, and something that all these people that have texted in or called in, I have over 2,800 people. We all have something in common. We encountered a rogue CPS entity. This CPS entity has been corrupt. And right now, statistics have shown me they're wrong 50% of the time. 50% of the time. And I here to help you because I care about you. So, CJ, I'm glad that you're here from Scranton, Pennsylvania. And I'm glad you're here to talk about the child protection system. What did CPS do to your children? What happened in your case? Do you have a story to share or do you have a question to ask me? Now, besides texting in a message, I would like to say if you like some legal advice, I have a phone number up there. It's 888-888-6582. And that's to my attorney that worked for Vincent W. Davis. He is well schooled in the areas of juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. Those are the three areas you're going to encounter. Those are the three areas you're going to encounter. And so the reason why I make up that you need an attorney is because of the situation you may be in. The situation you may be in. The agencies, the Child Protection System, CPS for short, are corrupt. They lie, they steal the money. And that's one of the reasons I like to point out. The primary reason why CPS does what it does and gets away with it, it's all about money. Sad to say that corruption has taken that department. And hopefully, the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, will straighten it out. They're investigating them right now as I speak. I know that for a fact. Anyway, I'm here to help you with your CPS case. I've developed 5 rules that I'd like you to follow. Now, I lost my CJ. You were here. I don't know if you have a question or not. I don't know if you have a question or not. Now, when you do call in to Mr. Davis, you'll reach reception. And it's very important with reception that you tell them that Bob Pace sent you so they know who you are. Also, you can ask to speak to Mr. Davis. Real simply, he has some fees. For instance, to have a private text message is $10. To have a private phone call is $15. To be a guest on his 30-minute live show is $25. All you do is send it to Cash App, Apple Pay, or Zella at 310-308-7758. That's where you send it to. Also, he can be hired when you call him. And when you do talk to Mr. Davis, make sure you tell him that I sent you. You make sure you tell them I sent you. Now, another way that you can interact with me in this room is to be a guest. To be a guest, all you need to do is pick one of my 14 shows. Now, it's easy. You just say you want to be on Bob's um, Sunday morning show, or Bob's Saturday night show, or Bob's Friday morning show, or Wednesday morning show, or Monday night show. It's either nighttime or morning, and it's either one day of the week. It's real simple. When you do pick a show, send it to me to my email. I also need your name, your phone number, and your email with the day and time you want to be on one of our 14 shows. My email is right there, bobp@vincentwdavis.com. In turn, I'll send it to my show producer, Grace, who will give you a link to StreamYard, which is the application I use. StreamYard uses YouTube to transmit, but StreamYard, the software application, has the format of the room and the layout, and I'm able to do the things that I'm able to do. Now, once you get that link, you put it in. If you get knocked off, put the link in back again. It's that simple. It's that simple. The rules are simple too. We respect one another. Even when you text a message or when you call into my show or be a guest, it's very important. Respect everybody in this room. We're here to deal with the child protection system. We're not here to talk about politics or to talk about different things unrelated. If you want to talk about adult protective services, APS, I'd love to talk to you about that. That's a part of social services. The child protection system, adult protective system are there to protect children. When a child reaches 18 and their special needs and they're still in foster care, adult protective services will come into play. If you are a senior or an elderly person or a special needs person in life, adult protective service there for you to make sure that you're not being abused or neglected. Those two are very powerful words. Abuse is where someone physically hurts or emotionally hurts a person, another person. Neglect is where the person is not provided food or shelter or clothing or educational. Those are some of the basic things that CPS gives. So you will be charged if someone calls in, a reporter. Now, reporters are either divided into professional reporters or layman reporters. Now, the laymen are your neighbor, your relatives, the guy down the street, the guy at the store. Those are laymen. Professionals are school teachers, administrators, counselors, principals, or physicians, doctors, nurses, or firemen or policemen. Those are professionals. There's also caregivers, too, are professionals. They're they're required by law to report any suspect of neglect or abuse. But the layperson get it right 25% of the time. The professionals get it right 50% of the time. So there's a lot of ambiguity, and it is a problem trying to get reported because once they make the report, CPS says you're guilty until you're proven innocent. It's the only court of law that you're guilty till you're proven innocent. And they do horrific things like a knock at the door and they bring out the policemen as intimidators. It's a scary thing to see 9 or 10 policemen and 3 or 4 social workers come knocking at your door. The police are there to protect the social workers, but the social worker uses them to enforce their way with you. And one of the things are they want you to open your door because they want to see what's behind that door. And you have constitutional civil rights that says you don't have to open your door to strangers. You don't have to open a door to anybody. And if you have family or friends that are stopping by, you can arrange a special knock, or they can call ahead and let you know that they're coming, or a special doorbell ring. Because you don't want to encounter these people because they come to your home, they're not there to offer you help. They're there with a purpose of taking your children and take money off your children, which is sad. And you have a 50-50 chance that allegations is corrupt, is wrong. Now, my 15 years and from talking to 2,800 people from around the world, it has shown me how bad the system is. Now, I've heard from 24 countries in all 50 states in the US. Countries such as Indonesia and Bangladesh and India, or Saudi Arabia, or Iraq, or um, Libya, or Liberia, or Sudan, or Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Mozambique, or South Africa and its provinces. Then up to Europe is the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, and Wales, and also Denmark and Sweden. Then across the pond to North America is Canada and its provinces. Of course, the United States and all 50 states have either texted or called in. Then I've also heard from Washington, D.C. Then south of border of Mexico, and then further south in South America, north of Brazil, on the east coast, Grenada. Then in the South Pacific, I have New Zealand, and then the land down under, Australia and its states. So that's 24 countries, 2,800 people have all something in common. They've run into a rogue CPS entity that's destroying their family. Also, the other thing they have in common, they're low income. And that's sad because that works against you. So, um, I'm here to help you answer your questions, your concerns, and either hang on to your children and your family or get back your children and family. I've developed 5 rules. I need to put my phone number up too. There's my phone number. Hello, Jesse. You're from Northern California, Monterey County, near King City. You've been in here before. Thank you, Jesse, for reminding me. And how can I help you, Jesse? What questions or story do you have to share with us? Now, my number is 626 698 0990. It's a private number, and you can call and talk about your CPS case. Um, well, I'm glad you're here, Jesse. I know that you're nice support of it. My case is closing next week. I had my last CFT yesterday. Now, what does CFT stand for? CFT. Thought I knew everything. What is it's the child and family team. It's a collaboration of family centered process used to create a plan for the child's safety, stability, and well being. It's called a team meeting. The goal is to empower families by involving them in decision making and drawing on the strength of social networks. Now, who is on team and family meeting? Well, they bring the children, the professionals, the people from Family Support Network, family members, the child, professionals, informal supports, and special advocates. Now, these special advocates, you got to be careful. The court appointed special advocates, a lot of them don't work like they're supposed to. They're listening ears for the child protection system. CASA is not to be trusted. Keep an open mind about them. Keep an open mind. The court appointed a special advocates, CASA. You got to be careful. Now, these team meetings sound good on paper, but do they really work? Do they really work? So, anyway, it's where they discuss a plan for your children. And you say, my case is closed. Well, that's the good news because usually the CTF is part of family reunification, and it's still going to be a long process of your child protection system case. But in Scranton, Pennsylvania, I'm glad that you have. Now, are you using a court appointed attorney or a real attorney, Jesse? Which kind of attorney are you using? Um, Hi, Bartley. Good morning, Bartley. A warm welcome to you in Montana. I hope you're staying warm. with your new fire burning stove or your stove that you had that you're now using, and you got your new furnace coming. I'm so glad that you got your heating problem taken care of. Bartley is a single parent that has had three children. One child is almost 18, the other child is older, and then the youngest child, who is only 5 years old, is that the one that she's fighting to get home to her, to be permanently in her custody again. But apparently, the biological father has come out of the woodwork and wants to intimidate her. Her biological father raped Bartley, Lisa, who's from Montana, and that's sad. That really is sad. And he wants to be a part, but it's really a front because he wants the money. He wants the money. Anyway, she's encountering resistance. Well, I wouldn't say resistance, but she's encountering a person that is bad, that has exhibited violence, and she needs to continue with her rape allegations. She needs to get a hold of the detective that is investigating that with the report she made. She needs to get that report, a copy of the report. And it's very important she gets a copy of that report. She needs also what's called do a restraining order against the biological father. There's too much hatred and too much trickery that are happening to Bartley. It's wrong. He doesn't have the best interests of the child. He's only involved because of money. He's shown nothing for that child for the first 4.5 years, and suddenly shows up. And a week ago, she had her visitation with her son. He pops up, sticks his face in the car, and she's so sick of him. A guy that raped her, that took, you know, it's a bad thing. And it's somebody she's known. He's younger than her by a year or two, but she's known him since he was 11 and she was 12. And she has a boyfriend that went sour. He's only interested in money too, and you got to be careful. She has two men in her life. She's had others. She had others when she was 16 and had her first child, but she was brought up really tough. She was brought up really, really, really tough. Her mother didn't really protect her. In fact, her mother gave her drugs and taught her how to steal. It's sad because her mother's alive today and it's still bad. It's so bad. Her biological father's gone, so her family really isn't that close, isn't that good to her and stuff. Anyway, I'm glad to see you, Bartley. Now, Jesse also has some other statements to make. Jesse says, I also had the family court hearing for my 2 year old that wasn't part of the dependency case. I don't know if you have one child, all the child are involved in the CPS case. The family court granted guardianship with termination in a year. Meanwhile, I get overnight on the weekends. What do you mean termination in a year? I don't understand. How many children are we talking about? How many children are we talking about? And it should be a complete single case. Why have they broken it into different cases? It doesn't make sense to me. Um, well, if your family court is doing a smooth unification with your 2 year old, what about your other children? How many children are we talking about, Jesse? How many children are we talking about, Jesse? And what are the ages of the other children? And what's the problem back there? I'm doing okay, Bartley. I've had a busy morning too. I'm glad you're back online. You want to tell me up to date what you're doing there, Bartley? What's the latest? Me and my son appreciate from the bottom of our hearts. Well, your son's precious, and you had a nice visit with him the other day. Christina and Evan is advocating for me. Okay. I think Christina Reynosa is from Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada. And I'm glad that Christina is helping. I'm glad she is. She's a beautiful mother. She's one of my members of the family here. So I'm glad that she is helping. I'm glad she is helping. Oh, wow. That'd be so special if Christina would come up. That's so great. That's so great. Yeah, I met Christina a long time ago, but she's a good person. So anyway, um, I'm glad to hear the good news. Now we're, half through my show here, and I've not heard anybody call in. Don't be afraid to not call in because I do talk, I do help. And again, my number's up there. Also, don't be afraid to send me a question or a comment about your CPS case or your adult protection system case. Some of you do have involvement with adult protection services, that your father, your mother, that are quite up there in the years need assistance. Um, Now, Barley says today was supposed to be the visit with the social worker. They canceled it on me. Wow. They canceled. All right. You need to do a documentation. You need to send an email to the social worker. This is confirming that our meeting that was supposed to take place and what was going to happen, you've canceled. When is the next meeting? Been rescheduled. You need to document. That is my rule number 2 is document. Rule 1 is there. Now Jessie says her 2-year-old went with the father and the father was a safe home. CPS opened a case on my 2-year-old and I only had a case with a 6-year-old, different father. Okay. So how many children are we talking about, Jesse? And how different it is? How different it is. Um, all I need to know is how many daddies and how many children. And are they all grouped together or are there different cases? And so I'm confused there, Jesse, because I want to help you. Also, when you say the word termination, that's not a positive thing if they're looking at termination down the road. They want family reunification, they want you back with your family. Now, Barley says, yeah, they canceled the visit. I know they're in the wrong, but that's fine. Just make sure you document a self serving email to the social worker confirming their cancellation because that can be used in court. The wood stove is running it really warm in here. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear that. And with your heater, you're going to be in good shape. Your home sounds so inviting. Okay, it's rescheduled 2 weeks out. What is the purpose of the home visit? Is to check to see if your clutter's gone or your area that you have your homeschooling set up for your son? What's the purpose? Also, you exercise your medical rights. You should also exercise your educational rights. Your child does not need to be in a public school setting. You have a homeschool. That is your educational rights. Why is a child sent to public school when they're not required because of his age? And who did that? Was it the social worker do that? Okay, you have two children and two different fathers. Okay, sounds like you have a 2 year old and a 6 year old. Now, why is there two separate cases? Why is there two separate cases? Good. Good, Bartley. After the end of the show, you'll send the email. It's so important. You need to get the documents of the courts. There's so many things you need to do. I know you're forgetting there. How's it going with filing a complaint against your court appointed attorney at the state bar? At the state bar in the state capital of Montana, which I think is Helena. I think Helena is the state capital of Montana. It's really hard to know all the capitals. I know all the states, but I don't know all the capitals. I know the capital of where I'm from, Sacramento, California, and it's like when you start to go other places, I don't know. I don't know, and I should. Well, let's see, Montana. Helena, I was correct. That is the state capital of Helena. In Idaho, it's Boise. In Oregon, it's Salem. In Washington, it's Olympia. Carson City is Nevada. Sacramento, California. Phoenix, Arizona. Salt Lake City, Utah. Denver, Colorado. Santa Fe, New Mexico. Cheyenne, Wyoming. Bismarck, North Dakota. Perry, South Dakota. St. Paul, Minnesota. Madison, Wisconsin. Lansing, Michigan. Des Moines, Iowa. Lincoln, Nebraska. Topeka, Kansas. Jefferson, Missouri. Springfield, Illinois. Indianapolis, Indiana. Columbus, Ohio. Frankfort, Kentucky. Charleston, West Virginia. Nashville, Tennessee. Little Rock, Arkansas. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Santa Fe, New Mexico, Austin, Texas, Little Rock, Arkansas, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Jackson, Mississippi, Montgomery, Alabama, Tallahassee, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia, Columbia, South Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, Richmond, Virginia, Charleston, West Virginia, Frankfort, Kentucky, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Whoa. Trenton, New Jersey, Dover, Delaware, Annapolis, Maryland, Hartford, Connecticut, Providence, Rhode Island, Concord, New Hampshire, Augusta, Maine, Montpelier, Vermont. Geez, I'd never. Albany, New York. Wow, I thought it was New York City. Anyway, those are the capitals. And at each of those capitals, you can file a complaint with the state bar. They'll investigate the attorney. So if you have an attorney that's not performing, whether it's a court appointed attorney or public defender or one that you hired, they need to perform, because if they don't, you can sue them for negligence and file a complaint against their license and have their license be disbarred. So, anyway, in Bartley's case, Lacey's case, they're still trying to keep their child for some reason. It's probably because of your past involvement. As a young child, your mother fed you drugs. There's nothing wrong with the house. We had mentioned something that there was clutter. So I don't know if they thought that that was the social worker put them in public school and then lied to me and said I can't homeschool. I told them that's a lie. Well, you need to also follow up with a self-serving letter sent to the school that he's in, sent to the district. You need to register a complaint. You still have your educational rights. And you need to write another self-serving letter. There's nothing wrong with my house. My house is there for you to inspect. You know, they're keeping you from your son because they're angry. I don't know. There's something that has made them upset. Why did the police rip out your front door, the break and entering in there? Because you were sitting there saying you don't want them in your home. You have a right to do that. You just have been so abused. You're abused as a child by your mother, and then you're abused by the men in your life, and you're now being abused by the police and the social workers. It's all abuse. It's wrong. They keep your son because it's easy money. They get $20,000 a month for that child. And if they get that child adopted into foster care, they get a bonus of $35,000 from the federal government. It's the Incentive Act that was passed in 1997 by Bill Clinton. And I'm glad you're doing the parenting classes and the drug testing. You need to keep track of the negative drug tests and put them in your notebook. Document that. Document the certificates of your parenting classes. Remember to use tabs that organized all the information so that you can find them. You have one tab that says drug testing, another tab that says parenting certificates, another tab that says program certificates, another tab that says court papers, another tab that says social worker papers, another tab that maybe say some school. Well, your son's so new, he doesn't have a history of grades. Now, you just do a self serving letter that said You put my son in school when by law he's not required to be in school, and I still have the educational rights, and I want him to be homeschooled. Also, it's very important when you do homeschool out there that you let the district know what you're planning to do. They want to see your educational plan for your child if you're going to homeschool them, and they're going to want to see the curriculum. All school districts need to see that because they want to verify that the child's getting school. The downside of homeschooling is the social interaction among children of his own age. He misses the activity, the playground recess, talking to other kids, some of the fun things you do in school. So there's the pros and cons about homeschooling. You know, if you feel the school is not teaching them right, then don't. But you should still look into public school because some of them are not bad. Now, Bartley says, I've been doing the parenting classes and okay. The supervisor of Montana and Helena is already being emailed in the case and has been honest since the beginning. Oh, that's good to hear. Now, when you say the supervisor, are you talking about the civil rights coordinator, the ombudsperson, the director of CPS? Is CPS run from Helena for the whole state of Montana? I don't know how CPS is set up in your state. Every state's different. Every state's different. Okay, your supervisor since the beginning hasn't been honest and she's been on it. It's all it's all decluttered. Okay, I guess you're talking about your home. Maybe they made a complaint because maybe you had too many personal belongings or something. Anyway, you're doing a good job, Bartley. I'm really proud of you because you have a goal in mind. Your goal is to get your son back. You have your daughter that's going to turn 18. She'll be in your life and she'll need you. She's young age. You remember when you were 18 and what you were going through. She needs help with answers. She needs help to social interact with children of her own age, with her other friends and boys. You see, a girl that turns 18 is very much interested in boys. It's very common to be interested in boys. Now, I have a lot of life skills I can share with you. And you need to have a good talk with your daughter because she could get pregnant. So you got to be careful there. You got to explain to her the pros and cons, especially if you have a religion and you're very close to God. It's important that you guys study the Bible together, read the Bible together, go to church once a week, which helps you hear a sermon from the priest or minister, whether you're a Catholic or Baptist or Lutheran or whatever. You all believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. In fact, Jesus Christ and God are the same being. I don't know if any of you know that, but I found out this year that God and Jesus are one of the same. God wanted to come down to walk among his people. He did that through Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ grew, and then he had to die for our sins. He died and was crucified on the cross by the Romans. Anyway, the world is a very complex place, and CPS is really a very um, complex organization that you got to be careful. You got to be really careful. The supervisor of CPS is in Helena. So CPS run from Helena? Do they not have a county? I don't know what county you're in, Bartley, but it's usually structured in counties. It's usually structured in counties. Now, I don't know what happened to our friend Jesse from Scranton, Pennsylvania, but I'd like to help you, Jesse. You told me you have two children, a 2 year old and a 6 year old. And I think you said two different cases. The part I didn't like was um, that you said there was something about termination. Jesse said, I also had the family court hearing for my 2 year old that wasn't part of the dependency case. The family court granted guardianship with termination in a year. Now, I don't know what that means when you say termination, because termination means they'll take the child from you in a year. I don't know if that's the case. So, Jesse from Scranton, Pennsylvania, please come back. I'm glad, Bartley, you're sharing all the events in your life. I'm glad that I'm able to help you. You're going to call me tonight. Okay, good. I loved hearing your voice, Lisa. You have sound so much better. You're a lot more composure. You're not so emotional. I think you're demonstrating that to the social workers by what you did. The other day, she stopped the social worker from seeing her son that was being treated for his broken leg while you say he was in custody of CPS, how he broke his leg. Now, I don't know if it was an accident or what. I can't believe that CPS purposely would break his leg. But I'm glad that medical attention is being drawn to it. And he sounds like a loving boy because Bartley tells me on their visits she has some really nice times with her son. Okay, Bartley says it's Sander County is her area. Well, doesn't Sander County have a CPS system in Sander County? Is there a director there? Or does the supervisor from Helena run that CPS entity? I'm really confused about the structure of Montana. Now, I have a time here that at 8 o'clock, which is not, it's, 11 o'clock. I'm sorry. It's 11 o'clock now, and I must end my show. It's already after 11. And I don't know how we got that much done because, Jesse came back. Termination of guardianship. Well, that's not a good thing. Do you mean who has the guardianship, Jesse? I mean, are you the biological mother of the two children, the 6 year old and the 2 year old? What do you mean termination of guardianship? Who has guardianship of the child? Does a family member have temporary guardianship? So I'm confused, Jesse. But thank you for coming back and answering that question. Now, Bartley is from Montana, and she's slowly, surely putting her feet down and trying to do a better job. She has a very bad court appointed attorney. She can't afford a real attorney. And Jessie is from Scranton, Pennsylvania, and she's trying to get, I guess, out of the CPS mess she has with her 2 year old and 6 year old with different fathers. Having different fathers sometimes causes issues, especially if the fathers want sole custody or want to help out or whatever the case is. I don't know the situation. In order to regain custody of my 2 year old, I had to file in family court. Who got custody of your 2 year old? I'm really confused now. If you have custody of your 6 year old, why do you not have custody of your 2 year old? How did you lose custody of your 2 year old? Now, I'm going to end the live stream here. Father's family, how did they get custody of your 2-year-old? Oh boy. Well, I tell you what, Jesse, I'll be on again tonight. I got to sign off. And thank you for sharing. And remember, I'm on here twice a day. I'm on here twice a day. My time Saturday night may move up to 4 o'clock instead of 7 p.m. on Saturday. I haven't gotten the green light yet, but I have a family commitment. And okay. So, with that being said, I want to thank Bartley from Montana and Jesse from Scranton, Pennsylvania, sharing your story. We'll work it out, we'll get it resolved. Again, I'll be on tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, please do not stop fighting for your child. It's very important that there will be a brief video on right after I end my show. Now, I'm going to put on the Department of Government Efficiency, which is at the federal level that you can host a complaint to. You can host a complaint to. It's got a website. It's got 2 phone numbers. They do work. It's 202 is the area code for the White House, and they have an email address. You can send your email. If you can't resolve it at the county or the state level, this is how you resolve it at the federal level. So God bless y'all. Thank you so much for coming by here. I hope I was able to help you out. I'll see you tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted, and if you go against then it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last ones left. Put your faith